Well, Kenya has never beaten Nigeria since their first match in 1985. This Saturday, Stars have an opportunity to make history by bringing down the Africa champions away from home. My colleague Nicholas Mudimba now looks at the head-to-head statistics between the two teams.
Well, thank you very much, Sadiq Shaban. As you're aware, Nigeria has been a hard nut to crack as far as away games is concerned. I beg your pardon. And this time round, we're going to Nigeria to play the World Cup qualifying match. But now, head-to-head stats. Let's take a look at Nigeria versus Kenya. They first met in 1981, where we went down 3-0. That was a friendly match. It was followed by a 3-0 defeat. In 1986 World Cup qualifier, we went down 3-0 again. In 1985, the same return match, we went down 3-1 in the same 1986 World Cup qualifier. 1988, Nigeria 3, Kenya 0. That was in Morocco in the African Cup of Nations. And in 1992, Nigeria 2 and Kenya 1. That was in the match was played in Senegal in the African Cup of Nations qualifier. 1997, that was when Kenyans at least we tried and at least equalized the goal. Remember, Simiyu gave Kenya the equalizer at the Moi Sports Center Kasarani, but the likes of Babayaro, Babangida, Sunday Olise really gave us a hard time in the away game. That was we were beaten 3-0 by Nigeria and also the 1998 World Cup qualifier. 2003, Nigeria 3, Kenya 1. That was a friendly match here in the country. 2007. Nigeria 1, Kenya 0, again a friendly match. 2009, Nigeria 3, Kenya 0, the 2010 African Cup World Cup qualifier. And in 2009 at the Nyayo Stadium, that's when at least we pulled a trial whereby they came from behind to beat us 3-2 in the 2010 African Cup and World Cup qualifier. Now, let's take a look at the latest Kenya performance. The latest, actually, we beat Libya 3-0 in a friendly match that was played in Egypt. And of course, we went before that match, we went to Tanzania. We went down 1-0 in that friendly match. Kenya went down again to South Africa. That match was played at the Nyayo National Stadium, whereby we went down 2-1. And of course, Togo, we went down 1-0 in the CHAN qualifiers. Namibia again beat us 1-0 in the World Cup qualifying match. And then going back to Nigeria's latest performance, these are the matches that were played in the African Cup of Nations. Of course, the final match, they beat Burkina Faso 1-0. In their preliminary matches, they managed to beat Mali 3-1, and of course Ivory Coast was also another hard nut to crack for these champs as they managed to beat them 2-1. Ethiopia were the other team that suffered a 2-0 defeat to Nigeria. That was specifically in the African Cup of Nations. Zambia was the first match of the Nigerians in the African Cup of Nations, and they managed to salvage a 1-1 draw. And of course, Kenyans will be hoping that this time round, history won't repeat itself, because we've been suffering a maximum of 3 goal deficit defeats, both at home and away. Back to you, Sadiq Shaban.